Why do the most confident people you know seem to have a secret that nobody tells you about? The answer was hidden in the writings of Seneca, Emperor Nero's advisor, who 2,000 years ago revealed that unshakable confidence isn't a natural talent, but a skill that can be built through specific techniques. While modern society teaches you to seek external validation, these 18 Stoic teachings will show you how to develop confidence that comes from within and remains rock solid even when everything around you falls apart. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and comment where in the world you're watching from, because now I'm going to tell you everything. Have you ever wondered why some people stay calm and strong when everything around them seems difficult or stressful? You might have noticed that some people do not get upset easily, even when their plans fall apart or when others disagree with them. This is not because they have special gifts or because life is always easy for them. In fact, there is a way of thinking that helps anyone become calmer and more confident. This way of thinking is called Stoicism. Stoicism began more than 2,000 years ago in a city called Athens, which is in Greece. At this time, people were asking many questions about how to live well. They wanted to know how to stay strong when life brought surprises. They wanted to feel peaceful, even during hard times. Life in ancient Greece and later in Rome was often uncertain. People faced war, sickness, disappointment, and change. Some thinkers began to write about how to prepare the mind for whatever might happen. There was a man named Zeno who started the school of Stoicism. He taught his lessons on a porch in Athens. In Greek, a porch is called a stoa, so the teachings came to be called Stoicism. Zeno was not born rich. He lost his money in a shipwreck. After that, he looked for stronger ways to live. He found peace in ideas instead of hoping that things outside would always go his way. The main goal of Stoicism is simple. It is to help people live a good life, no matter what happens around them. The Stoics said that you cannot control what happens outside, but you can control how you think and act. This is why the Stoic way is sometimes called the philosophy of the mind. This means that the most important work you do is with your own thinking. Stoic ideas quickly became popular because they were practical. They were not only for rulers, kings, or people with power. Anyone, even those with little money or status, could learn and use these lessons. The Stoics wrote their ideas in clear words so everyone could understand. For example, they wrote that the mind is stronger than anything outside it. You do not need wealth, fame, or good luck to use these ideas. This is part of why Stoicism has lasted so long. In time, Stoicism spread from Greece to Rome, where it found new followers. Many people in the busy city of Rome liked these lessons because life was fast and full of risk. Famous leaders, teachers, and workers all wrote about or studied Stoic ideas. Three of the most famous Stoic writers were Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus. They lived in different times and places, but they all wrote about how to be calm and wise when life is hard. Seneca was a writer and advisor in Rome. He wrote letters to his friends with advice about how to face problems and build confidence. Seneca's advice is easy to read because he wanted to help ordinary people. He explained that calm and confidence are not about luck. Instead, they come from knowing how to think and act in the right way. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor. Even though he was one of the most powerful people of his time, he also faced stress, sickness, and war. Marcus Aurelius wrote down his own ideas each day to keep his mind clear. He reminded himself that real strength comes from within, not from outside power or praise. Epictetus was born a slave and later became a teacher. He had almost nothing when he started out. Epictetus taught that freedom and peace are not about what you own or where you live. They are found by working on your own mind and actions step by step. All three of these Stoics, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, write in ways that you and I can understand. You do not have to be rich, famous, or special to use their teachings. Stoicism was always meant to be simple and practical. It is for people who want to find peace, live better, and feel more confident, no matter what happens. At the heart of Stoicism is an important idea. This idea is that your mind is the most important part of you. You cannot always choose what happens to you, but you can choose how you will react. Life will bring changes and problems, but these do not have to control your thoughts or feelings. The Stoics believe that you can train your mind just as you train your body. When you practice clear and calm thinking, you get stronger every day. Stoicism is not just a list of rules or beliefs, it is a way of practicing new habits. Each idea is meant to help you live better in real life. For example, if someone is rude to you or you lose something important, Stoicism teaches you to notice your own reaction first. Can you stay calm? Can you choose not to get angry? Most of the time, you cannot change the world around you, but you can learn to change your own response. This is where your true power lies. One powerful lesson from Stoicism is that every person can become wise and strong. The Stoics believed that wisdom is not only for experts or for people with long training. Wisdom grows by practicing new ways of thinking. Whenever you meet a problem, you have a choice. You can become upset and blame others, or you can pause, think, and find a calm response. The more often you do this, the easier it becomes. The Stoics also teach that you do not need to be perfect. Every person makes mistakes and feels weak sometimes. What matters is how you learn from your mistakes. Each mistake is a chance to become stronger and wiser. If you forgive yourself and try again, you will grow. You do not need to compare yourself with others, because each person's path is different. Another important idea in Stoicism is that real strength does not come from things you own, from how you look, or from what other people say about you. Many people in the world spend their lives chasing praise or new things. The Stoics teach that these things are nice, but they do not bring lasting peace. Things can be lost or changed. The real strength comes from inside your own mind. For example, if people praise you today, that is nice. But tomorrow they might not praise you, or they might forget about you. If you only feel good when people praise you, your happiness will be up and down all the time. The Stoics say it is better to build calm inside yourself, so you do not need outside approval to feel good. The Stoics often ask their students to think this way. What can I do right now to act in a wise and calm way? They remind you that you do not need to wait for perfect moments. You can practice Stoic habits in any situation. If you are in a noisy room, you can still take a breath and choose your reaction. If someone is rude, you can still choose kindness or silence. In the times of ancient Greece and Rome, life was hard for many people. There were wars, sickness, and sudden change. The Stoics did not promise that life would become easy. Instead, they promised that each person could become stronger on the inside. They said, "You cannot control what happens, but you can control how you respond." This message is still important today. Stoicism also teaches that you should not spend time worrying about what you cannot change. Every day brings new things you did not expect. You cannot control the weather, the actions of other people, or what will happen in the future. But you can choose your own actions and thinking. By focusing only on what is in your control, you feel calmer and less stressed. This helps you be ready for anything that happens. The lessons of Stoicism are not only for big problems, they are useful for small daily troubles too. If you lose your keys, wait in a long line, or have a disagreement, you can use Stoic teachings. Notice what you are feeling. Ask yourself if you can change the situation, or if you can only change your response. Each small choice to stay calm helps you become stronger. Seneca, one of the best-known Stoics, liked to write about daily life. He said that the way you live each day is more important than what happens to you. If you practice being fair, honest, and steady in your everyday actions, you become more confident little by little. This confidence is yours to keep. It does not go away when you meet trouble because it is built inside your own mind. Seneca also wrote that you should keep your goals simple and not expect perfect days. He said, "It is not things that upset us, but our ideas about things." This means that two people can face the same problem, but one stays calm because of a different way of thinking. You can choose your own ideas. When you do this, you become less afraid of problems and surprises. Another famous Stoic, Marcus Aurelius, worked very hard every day. He faced many battles, sickness in his family, and many disappointments. Still, he tried each morning to remind himself that the only thing he really controls is his own actions and thoughts. He dealt with stress by practicing calm inside himself. He wrote that the best way to live is to pay attention to your own mind and not get lost in worry. Epictetus, who came from a life of hardship, believed that happiness is simple. He taught that you do not need many things or special situations to be happy. You can find happiness by training your mind to be steady and kind. Epictetus said, "No one can hurt you unless you let them enter your mind." This does not mean ignoring pain. It means you can choose to respond in a calm way and be free inside yourself. These writers and their lessons are still important and helpful today. Whether you live in a busy city or a quiet place, you meet stress, changes, and disappointments. The lessons from Stoic thinkers remind you that you always have a choice about how you think and act. If you practice even a little each day, you start to feel calmer, more confident, and ready for life's surprises. Stoicism is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is always fine. Life brings both good times and hard times. But the Stoics say that when you build calm and strength on the inside, nothing outside can break you. You become your own source of peace. This does not mean you will never feel sad, but you will not be controlled by sadness or fear. Every person can use Stoic ideas, no matter their age or background. The lessons are simple. Focus on your own actions, pay attention to how you think, and do not worry about things you cannot control. These are not easy lessons, but they become easier with practice. Each time you remember to act calmly or forgive yourself for mistakes, you are growing in confidence. You do not need a special place to begin. You can start practicing Stoic habits at home, at work, or anywhere you are. You might decide to pause and breathe before you respond to someone. You might notice your worries and let go of the ones you cannot change. You might decide to focus on what is most important to you instead of trying to please everyone. With patience and simple daily practice, Stoic lessons become a part of your life. When you meet problems, you start to see them as chances to practice. If you feel nervous, you remember that your mind is your strongest tool. If something outside goes wrong, you remember you can still control your own actions and thoughts. Stoicism is for anyone who wants to feel stronger and more peaceful inside. The Stoic writers and teachers wanted their lessons to help everyday people, not just the powerful or the rich. Their biggest lesson is this: you can live well no matter what happens if you focus on calm thinking and gentle habits. Your mind is your most important tool. You can shape it each day by what you practice. Even on the hardest days, you can be kind to yourself. You can make small good choices and you can learn from mistakes. This is the ancient promise of Stoicism, and it is as true today as it was many years ago in Greece and Rome. When you begin to pay attention to your own thoughts and actions, something starts to change inside you. You may notice that you feel a little more stable and less controlled by things that happen around you. It becomes clearer that the way you see yourself does not have to depend on the world outside. Stoic philosophers spent many years thinking about this idea. Their writings share that true confidence lives inside each person. It does not grow from the voices and opinions of other people. It does not depend on praise, money, or attention. It comes from your own way of thinking and from how you choose to act every day. You might wonder what real confidence feels like or how you can find it. Many people look for confidence in places that do not last. Some hope that if they earn more money, gain more friends, or become more attractive, they will finally feel sure of themselves. Others wait for compliments or kind words, hoping these will make them strong. But when the money is gone or people stop paying attention, the feeling of confidence disappears too. Stoicism suggests a different path. It teaches that what others think or what you own is always changing. The only thing that truly belongs to you is how you think, how you act, and what you choose inside yourself. Seneca, one of the most famous Stoic teachers, explained that if you want to feel calm and confident, you must begin by knowing yourself. He shared that inner confidence grows from building habits, making careful choices, and not tying your happiness to things outside your control. Seneca told his friends that it is helpful to spend time each day asking simple questions. For example, did I do my best today? Or, did I act with kindness and honesty? These questions help bring attention to your own actions instead of running after approval from others. The Stoics say that everyone has worth and value, no matter what they look like or what other people believe about them. You do not need to prove yourself to others all the time. Your true value does not increase or decrease when someone likes you or when you lose something you own. When you begin to trust your own choices and actions, you feel less afraid of being judged. When mistakes happen, or when things are not perfect, you still know who you are inside. This steady, quiet feeling is the beginning of real confidence. Confidence, according to the Stoics, grows stronger every day when you practice certain habits. You might start by noticing your thoughts about yourself. Are you always waiting for praise from others? Are you frightened by criticism or by silence? These are normal feelings, but you can learn to look beyond them. The Stoics suggest asking yourself, am I doing the best I can according to my own values? If the answer is yes, then you can feel steady even when you do not hear approval. When you let go of the need to be liked by everyone or to be the best at everything, you find more freedom. This freedom is not about ignoring others or acting carelessly. It is about caring more for the opinion you have about yourself after you act, instead of hoping for applause. Epictetus, another important Stoic teacher, explained that anyone who always waits for others to approve will never feel at peace. He said it is better to measure your progress by your own good actions and honest thinking. You can begin to strengthen this trust in yourself through your daily acts. If you keep a promise, finish a task, or speak kindly, notice how you feel inside. Do not rush to tell others. Do not expect rewards or applause. Simply notice that you made a choice that matches your values. This quiet pride is the seed of true confidence. Over time, each good act makes your mind stronger. You start to see that you do not need to hide or pretend to be someone else to feel good. Marcus Aurelius, who was once the ruler of a great city, spent his mornings and nights reminding himself of what mattered most. He did not look for confidence in riches or high status. Instead, he repeated simple reminders such as, "Be upright, not kept upright." This means you keep your own character strong, even when no one is watching. He knew that bad news, unfair words, or tired days would come. But by remembering what was strong inside him, he stood firm through hard times. He trusted himself not because of praise, but because of his choices. Real confidence is easy to confuse with being loud, pushy, or eager to be noticed. But Stoics describe confidence as something steady and quiet. It feels like a gentle trust in yourself, no matter what happens outside. You do not need to boast. You do not need to prove your worth every day. You simply live by your own rules and let your actions speak for you. When things go wrong, you do not hide. When things go well, you do not become too proud. You accept each day as a chance to practice and to grow. Some people worry that if they stop caring about the opinions of others, they will become lonely or selfish. But this is not what the Stoics teach. Instead, they show that true confidence helps you care for others more wisely. When you are not worried about your own image, you have more energy to help, to listen, or to forgive. You worry less about small fights or misunderstandings. You can be present with other people because you are less afraid of judgment. When you care too much about what others think, your mind grows busy and worried. You might change your words or your dreams just to fit in or to please others. Sometimes this leads you away from what is truly important to you. But when you shape your life by your own values and your own thinking, you feel more steady. You can say yes or no without fear. You can trust that your actions are honest. You do not need the world to agree with you in every moment. The Stoics remind us often that life is always changing. One day you receive praise, the next you may be ignored. One day you gain something, but later you may lose. If your confidence rises and falls with these changes, you will always feel nervous and unsafe. Only when your confidence comes from your own mind and heart can it last, no matter what happens. Building this kind of inner confidence is not about being perfect. All people make mistakes, feel doubt, or wish for a second chance at times. You do not need to hide your fears from yourself. Being honest about your weaknesses is an act of confidence too. The Stoics wrote that there is no shame in learning, in pausing, or in asking for help. What matters most is your steady effort to keep living by your values, even when it is hard. Seneca advised his readers to be gentle and patient with themselves. If your mind fills with doubt, remind yourself that every strong person was once weak. Every wise person was once unsure. By practicing trust each day, in your words, your actions, your small decisions, you grow more confident. When you fail, you learn. When you win, you remember to stay humble. By treating yourself and others kindly, you find a better kind of confidence, one that is not loud, but that lasts much longer. Sometimes you may struggle with thoughts that tell you that you are not good enough, or that you must do or own more to be happy. These thoughts are very common, and even the wisest Stoics had days like this. The Stoics taught that you do not need to believe every thought that passes through your mind. When a thought brings worry or fear, you can pause and ask, is this really true, or is this just a habit? Each time you question and test your thoughts, you take back a little power. This gentle power over your thoughts is called self-mastery by the Stoics. It means that you are not a prisoner to fear or to other people's ideas. You learn to watch your mind and, little by little, guide it towards peace. You do not need to fight your thoughts with anger. You only need to be aware of them and choose which ones to follow. This simple practice, used every day, can bring a strong sense of courage. The more you train your mind in this way, the more you notice small changes. Things that once made you anxious lose their power. You can meet new people or try new things without worrying so much about mistakes. You become curious instead of afraid. This gentle growth is the gift that the Stoic writers wanted to share. It may feel strange at first to care less about outside approval or rewards. You might notice that friends or family still hope you will act in certain ways. But with patience, your inner confidence will begin to show. Others may see you handle problems calmly, or see you stand by your values even when it is hard. By being steady, you also encourage others to find their own strength. One idea from Epictetus is very useful for daily life. He wrote that, "No person can keep you from acting wisely." This means that even when you cannot control what is happening around you or what others do, you can always choose your own actions. Your confidence grows strongest when you remember this truth. It gives you a quiet sense of freedom and power. The teachings of Stoicism also help with challenges that come from within. Sometimes, past failures or memories can make you doubt yourself. The Stoics say that your past does not have to shape your future. Each new day is a new chance. If you notice a mistake, learn from it, but do not hold on to guilt. Forgive yourself as you would forgive a friend. Begin again with simple actions, and trust will grow. If you are trying to build confidence, you do not need to wait for a perfect time to begin. Each small effort counts. You might decide to speak gently to yourself in the morning, or to forgive a small mistake instead of judging yourself harshly. You might decide to tell the truth about something difficult, or to help someone without asking for thanks. These are all simple, quiet acts of courage, and they all help your inner strength to grow. The Stoics believed that everyone can become calmer, stronger, and more confident by practicing small habits. You do not need to make big changes at once. You only need to begin. The more often you practice, the easier it becomes. Even on days when you feel afraid or uncertain, you can act with honesty and kindness. These small acts build up over time, helping you feel more secure within yourself. Some days, it might feel like your efforts are not working. Maybe you still feel nervous, or maybe worries come back. It is normal to feel this way, and it does not mean you are failing. The Stoics wrote that the path to confidence is slow and full of practice. No one is strong right away. Each time you return to your habits, each time you speak kindly, make a careful choice, or forgive a mistake, you take another step toward real confidence. As you continue, you may notice that confidence is not a feeling that comes and goes. It becomes more like a quiet trust in your choices and values. You begin to know that no matter what happens, you can handle it. You feel ready to meet problems, to care for others, and to face challenges without giving up your peace. Friends, family, and others around you may see this change, though you do not need to explain yourself. Your actions will speak for you. People may start to ask how you remain calm or how you make hard choices with a steady mind. When this happens, you can share the simple truth that real confidence comes from caring for your mind, practicing your values, and not letting outside things control you. There is no special time or place needed for these lessons. You do not need to be alone or in a quiet space or to have a certain job or title. You can practice building confidence wherever you are, at home, at work, or with friends. You only need to remember the lessons of the Stoics, that your thoughts, your actions, and your values are yours to shape. Stoic teachers believe this inner work is the most important thing anyone can do. It shapes your whole life, from the way you greet the morning to the way you handle troubles at night. When you live by your own values, and when you practice kind thinking, you begin to trust yourself more deeply. Outside changes, mistakes, or disappointments cannot shake this trust. Learning what true confidence means is the beginning of a new way of living. When you place less value on praise, things, or winning, and more value on your own ideas and actions, you open up a steady path of growth. Even when the world is busy or uncertain, you know you can stand firm inside yourself. This is the confidence taught by the Stoics, and it is open to all who want to practice it. As you get familiar with these ideas, you might start to see another helpful lesson. The Stoics believed not only in building confidence, but in knowing where to put your energy and attention. Since not everything in life can be changed or controlled, the Stoics taught people to focus only on what is truly within their power. This next simple, powerful lesson shows how you can shape your life with even more peace and strength. When you begin to notice that your own confidence comes from inside, it becomes natural to wonder where you should direct your time and thoughts. There are many things in life that you wish to change, improve, or understand. Some days you feel strong, but then a sudden event or a word from someone can make you feel lost or upset very quickly. The Stoics learned from their own lives that a calm and confident mind grows when you patiently separate what you can control from what you cannot control. This lesson makes everything clearer, and helps you use your energy in the best way. Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius all wrote about this idea many times. They said that the very first step to peace and strength is to remember there are things you can decide and things you cannot decide. It may sound simple, but it changes many things about how you see yourself and the world. It helps you not waste hours or days worrying about things you can never change, no matter how much you wish or hope. When you place your attention on your own choices, you give yourself the gift of peace. Imagine waking up in the morning and thinking about your day. There are many things in your life each day. You might want people to treat you kindly. You might want the weather to be nice. You might hope for no problems or surprises at work or at home. The truth is, many of these things are out of your hands. The weather is not yours to decide. The words and actions of other people are not yours to decide. The future is not yours to decide. You can wish and hope, but you cannot control these things. But there are also things that are truly up to you. You can decide what to do with your time. You can decide if you are patient. You can choose your words. You can decide if you will act with kindness or honesty, even when others do not. This is what the Stoics call focusing on your own sphere or your own place of control. When you put your energy only on your own actions, you feel more free and less tired by worry. Epictetus explained this lesson very clearly. He told his students that everything in life is either up to us or not up to us. He said that our thoughts, our desires, our dislikes, our decisions, and our actions are up to us. The weather, the past, the actions of other people, and random events are not. If you put all your hope into changing others or changing fate, you will always feel upset. But if you use your time to guide your own thinking and actions, you gain more self-respect and more peace. Seneca once wrote that most of the pain in our lives comes not from outside events, but from our own reactions to them. He noticed that people often make their pain worse by wishing for things to be different. For example, when someone speaks badly about you, you might spend hours repeating their words in your mind, trying to change the past. But the past is already done. The only choice you have now is how to respond. When you notice which things you truly can guide, your choices become simpler. If you cannot decide what others think, you do not spend time worrying about it. If you cannot change the weather, you bring your attention back to your attitude. The Stoics did not say this is easy, and they did not say you must never care about loss or pain. They only said that your time is precious, and it should be spent on what you can touch and change. This lesson is not about ignoring problems or being cold. You can still care about others. You can still feel sad or hopeful or worried, but you do not let these feelings take over your life. You gently remind yourself where your power lies. Your habits, your words, your way of seeing each day, these are always yours. Even when everything outside seems wild or unfair, your mind, your actions, and your choices are your own. Marcus Aurelius used to write short notes to himself every day, reminding himself to accept the world as it is. He said that you must accept what happens with a steady heart, even when you do not like it. Life will always bring things you cannot plan for. If you are gentle with yourself, if you bring your attention back to what you can do right now, your mind feels lighter. The world outside will always have noise, trouble, and moments that are out of your hands. You may see unfair things, people acting in ways you do not like, or plans falling apart. Each time this happens, you have a chance to practice the Stoic way. You can pause, breathe, and ask yourself, what part of this is truly in my control? When the answer is none, you can let go of worry and return to what is yours to shape. You might feel sometimes that letting go of what you cannot control means not caring. But the Stoics say it is the opposite. When you stop wasting energy on things outside your power, you have more energy to do good where it matters. You can be more present for others. You can listen better. You can help in small ways. You begin to use your time and strength where they can have a real effect. Every day, life will give you many chances to practice this lesson. You may not always remember, and that is fine. The important thing is that you keep trying. If you find yourself feeling upset about what someone else did, pause and ask, "Can I change their words?" If you cannot, let go of the hope to rewrite their mind. When you feel angry about the weather or news, pause and ask, "Can I control this?" If not, let the feeling pass by. Turn your attention to what you can do next. You will find that some things change when you use this habit. You notice your mind is more calm. You notice you argue less. You spend less time getting lost in worry about things that cannot be fixed. Instead, you use that time for your own work, your own kindness, your own small acts that match your values. Each day, your sense of inner freedom grows. This lesson is also very helpful in times of stress or crisis. When something big or scary happens, it is normal to want to control everything at once. Your mind rushes ahead, searching for answers, trying to control the future or fix the past. But the Stoics remind us to come back to the present. Ask yourself, what is one small thing I can do right now? Maybe it is breathing slowly. Maybe it is asking for help. Maybe it is choosing to wait a little before you act or speak. These small choices are powerful. Over time, you see that you can handle more than you once thought. Troubles come, but you do not lose yourself inside them. You feel what you need to feel, but your sense of choice and action stays with you. You are not a leaf blowing in the wind of events. You are a person, able to decide what to do with your own thoughts and actions. The Stoics knew that people live together, and that the actions of others will always touch your life. Epictetus wrote that you cannot decide the thoughts of your friends, your family, or even strangers. You can share your ideas. You can listen and speak with care. But in the end, you cannot force someone to believe or act as you wish. You can only guide your own actions. When you accept this, hard times become less heavy. You do your best and let the rest go. Seneca called this the key to living with less pain and more meaning. He knew that bad things sometimes happen to good people. He also knew you might not be able to change the big problems in the world. But even in the face of pain or loss, you can choose how to treat yourself and others. You can choose not to add harm by fighting with what cannot be changed. You find meaning in your own way, using your own choices as your guide. This simple, clear habit of focusing on what is in your hands is something you can practice anytime and anywhere. If you are waiting for news and you feel nervous, practice by bringing your mind back to the present. Remind yourself, I cannot choose the news, but I can choose how I wait. If someone is angry and you want to shout, ask yourself, can I change their mind with anger? If not, you can choose to wait, to walk away, or to respond with peace. Each time you make the choice, your strength grows. Children and adults can both use this lesson. It is not an idea just for those with much experience or education. Everyone can practice it. Even if you forget in one moment, you can remember again in the next. There is no finish line, only a chance to get better. Your mind becomes more gentle, more focused, and more free with each try. You may wonder about problems in the world that are very large, such as war, sickness, or suffering of others. The Stoics did not say to ignore these things. They believed in helping, in being fair, and in caring deeply, but they taught that you must always return your effort to what is possible and real for you today. If you can help, help. If you can listen, listen. If you can stand up for someone, do so. But do not destroy your own peace by fighting against what cannot be changed by you alone. This lesson helps with small things in each day too. If you spill a drink or miss a bus, remind yourself, this has happened. What is left for me to decide? You can choose to be angry, or you can clean up and move forward. If a plan changes or something is cancelled, you can be sad for a moment and then use your energy for what is still possible. The important thing is your choice right now. Marcus Aurelius gave himself this advice every day. He wrote that you should always remember that what belongs to others is beyond your power. He knew that battles, politics, and even family could change in ways he could not plan for. Each morning and night, he returned to what was truly his to shape: his thoughts, his words, and his choices. Every time you remember to use this Stoic idea, you become more steady. You find that troubles do not shake you as much. Praise does not make you too proud, and blame does not make you too weak. You begin to see that what you do with your own life matters more than what others say or do. You walk through your days with more peace. You may also notice the world feels less heavy. You stop carrying the burden of things that are not yours to carry. Instead, you gently place your attention on your own work, your own kindness, and your own care. This makes you more ready for good moments and hard moments. You become more open to joy and less closed by fear. This deep respect for what is yours and what is not helps you in relationships too. You love others, you wish the best for them, but you do not force them to be what you want. You show your values through your actions, but you let them make their own way. This makes you a better friend, a better partner, and a better family member. You do not need to fix everyone's life. You just need to live well in your own choices. Sometimes life will test this lesson in big ways. You may experience loss, unfairness, or mistakes. The first feeling may be pain, anger, or confusion. The Stoics say, feel what you feel, but then return to your own power. Ask, what is left for me to do right now? How can I act kindly or use my strength? This question does not solve every problem, but it puts you back in the center of your own life. In quiet moments, you can practice this by simply watching your thoughts. Notice when your mind begins to fight with things beyond your reach. Notice when you hope for a different past or wish for someone to change. When you see this, pause and bring your mind back to here and now. Your power is always in the present, in your own hands. With time, you become more gentle with yourself and others. You stop blaming yourself for what you cannot change, and you forgive others more quickly when they are not as you hope. Your confidence grows because it is built on real things: your own actions, your own care, your own true values. The lessons of focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot connect deeply with the other teachings of Stoicism. When you learn to use your power wisely, you discover you have more attention to give to what really matters. It is easier to keep your promises to yourself. It is easier to live honestly. You do not need to please everyone or win every argument. You just need to be true to your own best actions. As you become more comfortable with this way of thinking, you start to see the things in your life that are most important to you. You notice which values you wish to live by each day. This clear knowing helps you shape your life by things that matter most. You stop feeling pulled in many directions. You walk your own path with confidence, peace, and kindness in each step. When you start to understand which things belong to your control and which things do not, something changes in the way you look at your life. You begin to notice that some moments feel more important than others. Some decisions seem to matter more. As you practice focusing on your own actions and letting go of what is outside your power, you become more peaceful and make better choices. Now, you are ready to bring your attention to a new question. What is truly important to you? Every person lives with different situations, dreams, and hopes. Life is full of choices, possibilities, and distractions. You might spend time helping others, working on your skills, or caring for your family. You might spend hours worrying about work or school, feeling pressure from friends, or trying to fit in. Every day, many things call for your attention. Many of these things are loud and urgent, but not all of them really matter to your happiness or your inner peace. The Stoics believed that it is easy to get lost in life if you do not stop and ask what is most important to you. They taught that you should think quietly, with care, about your own values. Values are the ideas or behaviors that you think are good or right. Each person can choose their own values. For some, kindness is the most important thing. For others, honesty, courage, or learning might matter most. Your values are like a map for your daily actions. Seneca, the wise teacher, often wrote about the need to set your own direction. He warned that if you do not choose your values for yourself, other people or busy days will choose for you. When you live without clear values, you can feel lost, pulled by every new idea or trend. You might do what others want, not what you believe is right. But when you know what you stand for, your choices become stronger and simpler. You feel less stress because you are guided by what really matters to you, not by every outside voice. It takes time and honesty to discover your own values. The Stoics suggested starting simple. They said you can ask yourself questions like, what do I want to be remembered for? Or, what kind of person do I want to be, even when no one else can see me? These gentle questions help you find the ideas that guide your heart. Maybe you wish to be known for being brave or for being fair with others. Maybe you want to be remembered as someone who helped people or as someone who always tried their best, no matter the result. When you name your values, you begin to see your life in a new way. Ordinary moments are not just routines or habits. They become steps you can use to build the person you wish to be. For the Stoics, the most important values were things like justice, courage, self-control, and wisdom. But they always said each person should make up their own mind. Your true values do not have to match someone else's. What matters is that they are real for you. Values help you choose how to act when life is confusing or full of different ideas. For example, if calmness is one of your values, you may pause and breathe when you feel anger. If honesty is a value, you might speak the truth, even when it is easier to stay silent. Each time you act from your own values, you build trust in yourself. You also show others what you believe is right. This way of living can help you with hard choices. Sometimes you will face moments when doing what is popular or easy is not what is right for you. The Stoics believed that following your own sense of right is more important than pleasing everyone around you. Seneca wrote many times that it is better to walk the quiet, honest path than to join the crowd if the crowd is not following your true values. You do not have to be perfect to live by your values. Even wise people make mistakes, feel afraid, or act out of habit sometimes. The key is to keep returning to what matters most to you. If you forget your values for a moment, you can start again. With every new day, with each choice, you grow a little stronger in the life you want to live. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman leader, reminded himself of his values each morning. He did not think about pleasing people or gaining power. Instead, he tried to practice kindness, fairness, and patience, especially when he was tired or facing difficulties. He believed that real strength comes from returning again and again to your best values, even when it is hard. Values are not just thoughts inside your mind. They become real when you act on them, even in small ways. If you think kindness is important, you can show it by listening to someone, helping with a small task, or forgiving a mistake. If courage is a value, you can show it by trying something new, standing up for what is right, or speaking a hard truth with respect. Each real action, no matter how small, gives your life more meaning. When you make choices based on your own values, you will notice a soft, steady confidence growing inside you. This confidence is not loud. It is quiet, but it does not depend on outside praise. You trust that your actions fit the person you wish to be. You are less shaken by the opinions of others because you know that you acted from your own heart and mind. Some days, living by your values is easier. Other days are harder. You may feel afraid to disappoint others or to stand out. You might worry about being judged. The Stoics taught that this worry is common, but you can practice being brave little by little. It can help to remember that every person faces these crossroads. Everyone makes mistakes. You are not alone if you feel uncertain or if you try and fail sometimes. What matters is your effort to stand up for what is right for you. The world will always have many voices telling you what is important. Advertisements, news, and even friends and family may push their ideas. But when you study your own mind, you find a calm voice under all the noise. This is your own sense of what is true and real. The more you listen to this voice, the easier it becomes to choose a clear path. The more often you act by your values, the deeper your peace becomes. Epictetus wrote that some people spend their lives chasing things that are not really their own values. They run after what others say is important: money, power, attention, only to feel empty or tired at the end. He advised his students to stop and ask, "Is this goal really mine?" By examining your own life quietly, you avoid wasting years on things that do not bring real happiness or meaning. You might notice that when you ignore your values, you feel uneasy inside. Maybe you agree to something that does not fit your beliefs. Maybe you act quickly to avoid an argument or to fit in. Later, you feel regret or discomfort. This is your inner voice telling you to pause and remember what matters. The Stoics encouraged people to turn back to their values, forgive themselves, and begin again. Having clear values also helps you decide what to say yes or no to. Life is full of requests and offers. When you know your values, you can accept what fits them and gently say no to what does not. If honesty is important to you, you can be direct. If calmness is important, you can choose activities that match your need for peace. You do not have to join every group or do what everyone else is doing. Saying no is not selfish. It is a way to care for your own mind and time. Living according to your own values also helps you become more understanding of others. You see that all people are trying to figure out their lives too. They may hold different values, or they may be learning just as you are. When you notice someone acting in a way that seems wrong, you can remember that they have their own lessons and choices to make. This can help you show patience and care, even during disagreements. Seneca wrote that it is better to lose friends by standing by your values than to win friends by letting go of what is right. But he also said, you do not have to argue with everyone who disagrees with you. Instead, you live your own truth gently and let your actions speak for you. Over time, you attract people who respect you for your honesty and strength. Another gift of clear values is that you spend less time regretting or doubting yourself. When you look back at your day, you ask, did I act in a way that matches what matters most to me? If your answer is yes, you feel at peace. If your answer is no, you do not have to blame yourself forever. The Stoics reminded themselves that life is a path of learning. You change and grow each day through your choices. When your values guide you, you feel more settled even when life is busy or when people disagree with you. You stop comparing your life to others. You measure your life by your own standards, not by trends, luck, or by what others have. This kind of living brings a quiet joy, because it comes from inside, not from outside prizes. Keeping your values close does not mean you never make mistakes. The Stoics believed that mistakes are part of being human. What is important is to notice them kindly, learn from them, and keep practicing. If you act with anger today, you can choose patience tomorrow. If you forget your value of honesty, you can tell the truth next time. Each new moment is a chance to live more fully in line with what matters to you. Sometimes, values change as you grow or experience new things. Something that once seemed very important may become less important. New values may appear. It is good to pause from time to time and consider what truly matters to you now. The Stoics believed that self-reflection is a tool for all of life. They encouraged people to spend a few moments each night or morning thinking about their choices and their values. This small habit helps you stay on your path. Living by your values can also bring new freedom from worry about judgment or failure. If you are honest, kind, and brave according to your own standards, you do not need everyone to agree with you. If you make a mistake, you know you can try again tomorrow. The pressure to be perfect disappears, replaced by a steady effort to live in your own truth. Some people worry that living by their own values is selfish. The Stoics answered that real values always include care for others. If kindness is important to you, you naturally treat people well. If fairness matters, you would not cheat or harm others. Real values help you become a better friend, family member, or worker because they come from what is good in you. You can start practicing this way of living with small steps. Each morning, think quietly of one value to focus on that day. Maybe it is patience or respect or speaking the truth. Then, at night, review your day. Did your actions show your chosen value? If yes, you can rest with peace. If not, you can forgive yourself and try again tomorrow. Slowly, your new habits form and your path grows more clear. Having values does not make every decision easy. There will still be doubts, pressure, and risk. But when you look to your values, you have a safe inner guide. This guide can help you face work problems, family questions, or personal fears. Each time you let your values decide for you, your confidence becomes deeper and more steady. This steady confidence prepares you to face unexpected events in life. Hard times and surprises come to every person. When you trust your values, you know you can face new problems without losing yourself. You do not have to know every answer in advance. You only have to be sure of your own heart, step by step. In this way, you shape your days with more peace, more honesty, and more purpose. By using your values as your measure, you spend less time distracted by what does not matter. You stop chasing approval from every person you meet. You use your time, your words, and your energy for what fits your truth. Life feels more simple and more meaningful. Each morning is a new chance to choose, and each night a new lesson to carry forward. As you become more comfortable living from your values, you might notice another simple truth. All people make mistakes and have weaknesses, and this is not something to hide from. The next part of your journey is learning how to look at yourself clearly, with both honesty and kindness. This is another lesson from the Stoics, a lesson that brings even more confidence, peace, and trust in yourself. As you continue to pay attention to your values and shape your life around what matters to you, it becomes clear that understanding yourself is just as important. Every person has not only strengths but also weaknesses. Everyone has good days and bad days, and sometimes people act in ways they later wish they did not. The Stoics taught that being truly confident and at peace comes from looking at yourself with both honesty and gentleness. Honesty with yourself means seeing both your good qualities and your mistakes without trying to hide or make excuses. Many people are afraid to notice their mistakes because they do not want to feel weak or guilty. Some try to forget things that went wrong or blame others, hoping that the feeling will go away. But the Stoics explained that everyone makes mistakes and everyone has flaws. There is nothing wrong about this. Learning to look at yourself with clear eyes is one of the most helpful habits you can build. Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus all believed that true strength begins when you are able to see yourself as you are. Seneca wrote that even wise people do things they regret, but the difference is that wise people pay attention and try to learn. Instead of hiding from mistakes, they use them as lessons. This does not mean you criticize yourself harshly or judge yourself all day long. It means you learn to be honest and gentle with yourself at the same time. If you want to practice self-honesty, the first step is to notice your thoughts and actions each day. You might begin in the morning by saying to yourself, No matter what happens today, I will try to pay attention to how I act. During the day, when you make a choice, you can ask, did I act in a way that matches my values? At the end of the day, you can spend a few minutes alone, quietly thinking about your actions. Did you speak kindly? Were you patient? Were there moments when you lost your temper or made an unfair choice? When you notice moments you are proud of, let yourself feel satisfied. Confidence grows from seeing your progress. When you notice moments that trouble you, do not turn away. Instead, try to look at them honestly and simply. What happened? Why did you act that way? What could you do better next time? This way of thinking is not a punishment, but a way to understand yourself and learn. The Stoics believed that self-acceptance is a friend to self-honesty. Marcus Aurelius often wrote that every person is a mix of strengths and weaknesses. No one is made perfectly. If you expect yourself to make the right choice every single time, you will always feel unhappy. If you expect others to be perfect, you will always be disappointed. When you accept that you have flaws, you feel lighter. You do not have to hide or pretend. You can bring attention to growing and learning, not to blaming or feeling shame. It takes practice to be honest and gentle with yourself at the same time. Many people swing between two extremes. Sometimes they ignore their mistakes, pretending nothing happened. Other times they are extremely hard on themselves and keep thinking about past errors. The Stoics taught that a balanced way is best. When you do well, enjoy the feeling. When you fail, notice it, learn, and let it go. This makes self-acceptance part of your everyday life. If you find it difficult to accept your mistakes, you can remind yourself that everyone is always learning. Epictetus told his students that every person is like a learner in a school. You try things, you fail, you practice, and you improve over time. You are not born wise or capable in everything. Each day is full of chances to become a better person, not a perfect one. When you practice being honest with yourself, you also become more honest with others. You are less afraid to say, I do not know, or I made a mistake. You do not need to pretend you have every answer or that you are always strong. You become more open to listening, helping, and supporting people around you. Others will notice this and feel more comfortable sharing their own struggles with you. Self-honesty also means paying attention to the ways you fool yourself. Sometimes you might blame someone else for a problem that you helped cause. Sometimes you might excuse your own actions by saying, everyone does this, even when you know it is not right for you. The Stoics wrote about how easy it is for people to trick themselves. Epictetus advised his students to look very simply at each moment. Is this the right thing for me to do? Am I acting by my values or just out of habit? Am I trying to make myself look good? Or am I really being honest? The more you look at yourself in this way, the more you build inner strength. Just like practicing a new skill, self-honesty becomes easier the more you do it. Small acts of truth build up over time. You begin to see your patterns and habits. You begin to notice when you are about to make an old mistake, and sometimes you catch yourself before it happens. Even if you do not, you can learn from it afterward. Practicing acceptance is important too. After you notice your mistake, speak to yourself kindly. Seneca said, "Forgive yourself, but do not forget to learn." There is no need to punish yourself endlessly for one bad choice. Instead, say, "This was not the best, but now I know more. Next time I will try to do better." In this way, every mistake becomes a lesson, not a weight that drags you down. When you accept yourself, you become less worried about what other people think of you. You know that you are trying, growing, and learning each day. The opinions of others matter less. If someone points out a weakness, you can say, "Yes, I know I am working on that." If someone criticizes you unfairly, you can see that their words are about them, not about your truth. You do not waste energy trying to defend yourself all the time. Self-acceptance also gives you the courage to try new things. You are not afraid of failure because you know that mistakes are not the end. They are only the next step toward growth. You can begin a new project, speak in public, or share your thoughts without fear of being perfect. Every act becomes part of your journey. The Stoics believed this gentle courage is the beginning of wisdom. When you practice looking honestly at yourself and accepting what you find, you also become more understanding with others. You notice that just as you struggle, others struggle too. People around you also make mistakes, feel confused, or have fears that are hard to talk about. Instead of being quick to judge, you become more ready to forgive and support. This makes your relationships stronger and more peaceful. You may find that some mistakes keep coming back. There are habits you wish to change, or fears that are hard to face. The Stoics said that no habit is too strong to be changed, but change takes time and patient effort. Do not expect quick results. Instead, focus on slow progress, step by step. If you slip back into an old habit, do not give up. Notice it, accept it, and try again. Each effort makes a real difference. Another way to practice self-honesty and acceptance is to spend a quiet moment each night reviewing your day. This is called self-reflection. You can ask yourself simple questions. Did I act with honesty? Did I do my best? Was I patient when things went wrong? When was I unkind or impatient? Did I learn something new? This habit helps you see your progress and understand your struggles. If you did well, you can thank yourself. If you did not, forgive yourself and look forward to trying again. Being open about your weaknesses is not the same as giving up on yourself. The Stoics did not believe in being careless or lazy with your life. They believed in steady effort and in kindness to yourself and others. If you notice a problem, make a small plan for how to do better. If you find that you keep making the same mistake, try to understand why. Is there a fear or a tiredness behind it? Can you ask for advice or help? You do not have to fix everything alone. It is also helpful to remember that other people are learning too. If someone shares a weakness or mistake with you, try not to judge or shame them. Instead, support their effort to grow. Marcus Aurelius said that showing patience to others is a sign of true wisdom. You can help others in their journey by listening, sharing what you have learned, or simply by being kind. If you live with honesty and acceptance, you attract people who value these qualities. Your relationships become more open and stronger. People feel safe sharing their real selves with you, because they can see that you do not expect perfection. You do not have to hide behind a mask or worry about being exposed. Real connection grows from truth and kindness. Some days you will find it harder to accept yourself. You may feel old regrets or fears come back. On these days, the Stoics suggest being extra gentle. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to rest, breathe, and wait for the feeling to pass. There is no need to push yourself too hard. Remember that all feelings move if you do not fight them. Allow yourself to try again with new energy when you are ready. Forgiving yourself is a skill that takes time. At first, you might feel it is too easy, or you might believe you do not deserve it. But the Stoics taught that self-forgiveness is a sign of courage. Holding tight to guilt does not help you grow. Letting go and starting again is how progress is made. If you cannot forgive yourself in one day, try again the next day. Over time, you learn that small mistakes are not the end of your story. When you build a habit of self-honesty and acceptance, you notice more clearly the difference between what you can change and what you cannot. You cannot change your past, but you can change how you act today. You cannot undo a mistake, but you can choose a better path now. This gives you real power and peace. There is nothing to fear in your own thoughts. You are not your mistakes, and you are more than your weaknesses. Living with honesty and acceptance does not mean you always feel happy. Sadness, anger, and regret are all part of life. The Stoics did not try to avoid or deny these feelings. Instead, they learned to accept feelings as information and then keep going. If you feel sad about a mistake, listen to the feeling, learn from it, and then use it to fuel your next action. You are always free to choose your response, even to hard emotions. This habit of honest self-reflection prepares you to act with more confidence each day. When something goes wrong, you are not destroyed by it. When people criticize, you listen for truth, fix what you can, and let go of what is not yours. You trust yourself because you know you are trying your best with what you have. When you meet new challenges, you are less afraid of failing or being embarrassed. You know that even if you make a mistake, you will learn and move forward. You do not pretend to be perfect, and you do not demand perfection from others. In this way, life becomes lighter. You carry less fear and more hope. You can practice these ideas anywhere. At home, at work, or with friends, you can pause to ask, "Is this the right thing for me?" Or, "Did I do my best?" If you need to apologize, do it. If you need to try again, try. Little by little, these small acts make a big difference in your peace of mind. You will see that your confidence grows quietly as you become more honest and kind about your real self. You do not need to judge your journey by how fast you change. What matters is the steady effort. Each honest choice and each kind act toward yourself slowly build a life you can trust and feel proud of. When you can see yourself as you are, with hope and acceptance, life opens up more possibilities. You begin to see not only your problems, but also your new strengths. Living this way every day does not need to be perfect. It is enough to do your best, learn slowly, and care for your mind and heart. As you keep building these habits, you might feel ready to bring them into each moment of your daily life. You do not need special events or big changes. With practice, every day becomes a chance to grow in steadiness, kindness, honesty, and patience. Bit by bit, you become the person you want to be, not perfect, but real and strong inside. As you discover that self-honesty and acceptance can help you become stronger inside, you might begin to look for ways to make these ideas part of each day. The teachings of the Stoics are helpful only if they become true habits in your life. They become real when you use them during simple routines, decisions, and conversations. The Stoic writers all said that you do not become confident and calm by accident. You become this way by choosing small actions again and again. Every time you practice, you build something steady inside yourself that can handle both easy and hard days. Seneca wrote many letters about daily practice. He explained that good thoughts are important, but actions are what shape your character. For example, you can read about patience or kindness, but until you try to use these ideas with people around you, you do not really know if you are growing. The Stoics believed in learning by doing, not only by thinking. Each regular act is like a small step. Over time, small steps turn into a life that feels calm, honest, and strong. When you decide to make Stoicism part of your day, you can start with simple steps. In the morning, you can remind yourself about the things you can control and the values you want to keep close. This does not have to take a long time. Even just a quiet moment can make a big difference. You might say, "Today, I will choose to focus on what I can do, not on what I cannot do." Or you might choose a single value, like patience or courage, and set an intention to practice that value in your meetings or in your home. As you move through your day, notice when you feel worried or rushed. These feelings often happen when you want to control things outside your power. Use each of these moments as a small chance to come back to your Stoic lessons. Ask yourself, what is really under my control right now? You might not be able to change what someone else is doing, but you can choose your own words or actions. You might not be able to fix the past, but you can choose what to do with the next hour. The Stoics also cared about the way you speak to yourself in your mind. Throughout the day, notice your thoughts. Are you blaming yourself for a mistake or blaming others for your feelings? Are you repeating worries about things you cannot change? When you notice these habits, pause. Use gentle words, the same way you would comfort a friend. Remind yourself that learning and growth are slow and patient. Say, "It is okay to have challenges. I will try again." This gentle self-talk is as important as the words you use with others. Daily practice also means learning to handle problems and disappointments without losing your calm. When you make a mistake or fail at something, do not rush to hide it or deny it. Stop for a moment and just see what happened. Remember the Stoic advice to be honest and kind. Ask, "What can I learn?" and "How can I make a better choice next time?" You do not have to fix everything at once. Even a small lesson is progress. Some people find it helpful to keep a journal. This is a simple notebook where you can write your thoughts each evening or morning. You do not need to write long pages. Just a few lines about what went well, what felt hard, and how you acted are enough. Stoic writers like Marcus Aurelius used their journals to talk to themselves. They recorded what went wrong, what they were grateful for, and what they would try to do better. Over time, this helps you see your patterns. You become kinder to yourself, and you begin to trust your own growth. It is also important to practice gratitude. Even in hard times, the Stoics looked for something good each day. You might be grateful for a conversation, for a sunny sky, or for a lesson learned after a mistake. Gratitude helps you notice that life is shaped by more than just trouble or loss. Seneca believed that by paying attention to small moments of joy, your mind becomes lighter and your heart more open. Gratitude makes it easier to face problems because you remember there is always something worthwhile in every day. Stoic daily practice includes small acts of kindness. These can be as simple as holding a door, listening to someone who needs to talk, or sharing your honest support when someone is struggling. You do not need to make big speeches or fix every problem. Each time you show care in your actions, you use and strengthen your own values. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to treat people with respect and patience, even when they were rude or difficult. These small acts help you feel confident and peaceful, even if others do not notice. Being present is another Stoic habit. This means giving your attention to the moment you are in, rather than getting lost in worries about yesterday or tomorrow. Take a slow breath and feel the world around you. Truly listen when someone speaks. Pay attention during your work or when you are alone. Seneca described this as living as if today was your only day. The more you are present, the more you are able to see what is important and what is just noise. Forgiving yourself and others is also part of Stoic daily practice. There will be times when you do not live up to your own values. There will be times when people around you make mistakes or are unkind. Instead of carrying anger or shame, the Stoics suggest letting these feelings pass. You can say, "It happened. I will do better next time." If someone hurts you, you can choose not to add new pain by holding a grudge. You free your mind for better things when you let go. If you wish to make these practices stronger, you can find reminders throughout the day. Put a note or a symbol somewhere you can see it. This could be a word, like patience or calm. Each time you see your reminder, pause and check yourself. Are you living by your values right now? If not, you have a chance to change your next action. You do not need to wait for the next morning to start again. Every minute is a new start. The Stoics also gave advice about planning and intentions. At the start of the day, think about upcoming situations that might be difficult. Imagine how you want to act if someone makes you angry, if plans change, or if you feel tired or upset. Marcus Aurelius often started his day by reminding himself that he would meet all kinds of people, some kind, some rude, some confused, some thoughtful. By thinking about this in advance, he was ready to act well when the time came. You can do the same. When you expect challenges, you are less surprised and more calm when they arrive. Practicing Stoic teachings every day does not mean you will not have feelings or that things will always go well. The Stoics did not try to stop emotions. They believed that sadness, joy, anger, and fear are all natural. The important thing is what you do with these feelings. You can notice an emotion, name it, and then decide how to act. Maybe you feel angry when someone is unkind. Instead of shouting, you breathe and remember your value of patience. Maybe you feel nervous about a new job or a big change. You can sit with the feeling and remind yourself that growth happens slowly. Over time, the habits you build with Stoic practice become part of you. At first, you may forget often. Maybe anger or worry take over, and you remember Stoic ideas only later. This is part of learning. Each time you remember, you start again. Slowly, you catch yourself earlier and make better choices. Your habits grow stronger, and your confidence becomes more steady. You do not have to be perfect. The Stoics said that steady effort was more important than golden results. Another key part of daily Stoic practice is choosing your response to stress. Life can be busy and noisy. There are times when people may judge you unfairly, work goes badly, or you lose something important. These moments test your strength. The Stoics taught that when stress or failure comes, you can slow down. You can say to yourself, "What is in my control right now?" You may not be able to change the outside event, but you can choose not to speak with anger, not to give up, and not to believe everything your worried mind says. Each time you practice this, you become more free inside. Being a Stoic in daily life also means noticing when you need help. The Stoics did not believe you must face every problem alone. Sometimes the strongest choice is to ask for advice, to share your struggle, or to accept help from someone else. When you do this, you show self-honesty and courage. At the same time, you are giving others a chance to show their kindness. Daily practice includes both giving and receiving support. Pay attention to rest and care, too. The Stoics wrote about the importance of taking care of your body with good food, enough sleep, and regular movement. When you care for your body, your mind becomes more quiet and focused. If you feel tired or overwhelmed, a small break or a walk can help you return to your values and steady habits. Each day is full of moments when you can practice Stoicism. You do not need to wait for big problems or special events. The way you speak, the attention you give to others, the choice to keep going after a setback, all of these are practice. Even if people do not see or understand your efforts, you know what you are building inside. Your daily habits can also include moments of quiet reflection. At the end of each day, take a short time to think. Ask yourself what went well. Did you act from your values? Were there times you lost your calm? Was there a place you could do better? Remember your progress and forgive your mistakes. Imagine how you will try again tomorrow. Marcus Aurelius did this every evening. He believed that small corrections each day led to a peaceful and honest life. As you build up your practice, you may notice that problems no longer seem as big as before. When you face a difficulty, you remember your habits. You breathe, pause, and choose your response. The feeling of being caught by surprise or being helpless grows smaller. You may not like every problem, but you trust your ability to act well. Your confidence grows from many small choices, not from one big moment. Living by Stoic habits does not mean every day will be simple or easy. Some days will be full of mistakes or frustrations. Some days you will be proud of your steady actions. The most important thing is to keep going. Let your effort be enough, even if you do not see results right away. The changes in your mind and life may happen slowly, but they will last. The Stoics knew that practice is not about reaching an end point. It is about growing a little each day, becoming more steady and kind over time. By choosing to make Stoic ideas part of your daily life, you are choosing to invest in your own peace, truth, and courage. You are making it possible for yourself to handle both success and trouble with the same calm heart. There is a deep trust that comes from steady daily practice. You do not worry as much about the future, because you know you will try your best when challenges come. You are less trapped by regret, because every day is a new chance to try again. The world outside may change, but what you keep building inside stays with you. As this way of life becomes more natural to you, you will feel ready for new challenges. You will also discover tools to prepare your mind for difficulties that might come later. Each day, by practicing kindness, patience, honesty, and self-control, you become more ready to face not just daily tests, but also the bigger surprises that life brings. Little by little, daily practice shapes your mind into one that is truly free and confident. When you make small, daily choices to act with patience, honesty, and calm, your mind slowly becomes stronger. As your habits grow, you notice that life's surprises and troubles feel less frightening. Still, every person will face difficult situations sooner or later. Sometimes problems appear suddenly, and sometimes they grow over time. The Stoics understood that it is not enough to practice good habits for easy days alone. They taught a simple way to prepare your mind for difficulties before they come, so even when you meet hard times, you feel ready to respond with a steady heart. Stoic teachers wrote that challenges can arrive at any moment. You may lose something important. Someone might be unkind. You might have to deal with pain, sickness, or sadness. Very few people can know the future or know what will happen next. The Stoics believed that it is wise to prepare your mind ahead of time, just as you would make careful plans for a long journey. This does not mean expecting bad things to happen at every turn. It means being honest about the truth. Not every day will go as you wish. With gentle preparation, you do not feel shocked or lost when trouble appears. One method the Stoics used was to imagine possible difficulties before they happened. Marcus Aurelius, for example, spent a few minutes each morning thinking quietly about the kinds of people he might meet that day. He reminded himself that someone might be rude, someone else might be angry, or something might go wrong. By picturing these things calmly, he was less upset when they actually happened. He could choose his response more wisely. This practice is simple and does not take long. You can start by saying, "Today I may face delay, disagreement, or small problems. I will try to respond with patience and keep to my values." This way of thinking is not about expecting the worst or filling your heart with fear. The goal is to teach your mind that difficulties are a normal part of life. When you remember this, you relax your need for every day to be perfect. You stop believing that problems are unfair or personal. Instead, you see each challenge as a chance to use your habits and values, just as you have practiced. Seneca advised his friends to picture not only small troubles, but also bigger ones, like sickness, loss, or sudden change. He suggested spending a little time every so often thinking gently about what you might do if these things happened. Would you become angry or lose your hope? Or would you try to accept the new situation, even if it is painful? You do not need to hope for trouble, but you can remind yourself that strength is not built by running from hard things. Each time you practice meeting problems in your mind, you feel a little less afraid. The Stoics believed that this preparation could help with many kinds of surprises. If you expect that things may go wrong sometimes, you do not feel betrayed by life when they do. If you know that other people might let you down, you feel less shaken when it happens. If you accept that you will make mistakes, you are ready to learn and begin again after trouble. Difficulties lose some of their power over you because you are not caught by surprise or disappointment. Another part of preparing for hard times is to remind yourself of what stays with you when things outside change. Stoic writers said that your character, your values, and your habits are yours, even if you lose your money, your job, or a relationship. You may not be able to choose what life brings, but you can always choose how you respond. When you remember this, you are never left with nothing. There is always a way to act with courage, patience, or kindness, even in the middle of a storm. Each day gives a chance to practice facing small troubles. You might lose your place in a line. You might break something valuable or face an argument. These are not as serious as big losses, but they are good practice for the mind. In these moments, ask yourself, how can I respond calmly? What is really in my control right now? By treating little problems with the same respect as bigger ones, you give yourself important practice that will help you later. When something more serious happens, such as illness, disappointment, or the loss of something or someone you love, the habits you have built are there to help you. The Stoics did not believe you must hide your feelings. You may feel sadness, pain, or fear. These are all natural, and they do not make you weak. Instead, the Stoics suggest letting your feelings be, while remembering that your choices are still yours. Even in pain, you can choose honesty, acceptance, or gentle care for yourself. You might cry, but you can also move forward one small step at a time. Another tool the Stoics used was to remember the strengths they had built already. If you have gone through difficulty before, remember how you managed it. Remember the ways you found hope, help, or patience during a hard time. This memory of your own courage makes it easier to believe that you can handle today's problems too. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that he had lived through many troubles and that he was still able to act well, no matter how he felt. Seneca suggested spending some time practicing going without things you believe you need. For example, you could choose a simpler meal, go for a short while without using your favorite things, or try walking to a place instead of using a quicker way. By doing these simple acts, you learn that you can be happy or okay with less. You grow less afraid of losing comfort or facing small hardships, because you know you can handle them. Epictetus spoke about preparing for trouble by letting go of the need for life to be perfect. He taught his students to expect that some things will not go as planned. If you set your heart only on having perfect situations or perfect people, you will always be disappointed. But if you focus your wish on living your values no matter what, you can find strength even in hard times. The Stoics also practiced imagining positive ways to face challenges. For example, if you lose something, you can remind yourself that it is normal for things to come and go. If someone is angry with you, you can remember times you have been angry and try to respond with kindness. If you feel fear, you can focus on what you can do right now instead of worrying about every bad possibility. Each time you use your imagination to see yourself acting well in a problem, you teach your mind that you have power and choice, even during stress. Sometimes, preparing your mind for trouble helps you see problems differently. You might notice that something that once made you very upset no longer bothers you as much. You become more flexible with change. You are able to help others because your own calm is stronger. You gain wisdom by realizing that your true strength is tested and shaped not in easy times, but in hard ones. The Stoics believed that sharing these skills with family and friends can help everyone be stronger together. If you tell someone how you prepare your mind for difficulties, by thinking ahead, by letting go of what you cannot control, or by staying true to your values, they might find comfort in these habits too. Together, you can support each other and remind each other to meet hard moments with steady hearts. Part of being ready for trouble is knowing that you are not alone. The Stoics lived in a world full of change, sickness, wars, and loss, but they also wrote often about friendship and community. When you ask for help, listen to others, or simply share your feelings, you make your journey easier. Sometimes, just hearing a kind word or knowing someone has faced the same thing can help you keep going. Preparing for difficulties also means understanding that things outside of you can change at any moment. You might have plans, hopes, or dreams, but sometimes outside events or other people's choices will change them. The Stoics taught that you do not need to give up on hope or plans, but you can hold them gently. If something changes, You let yourself feel sadness or surprise, but then use your habits and values to decide what to do next. A powerful way to prepare your mind is to keep a simple practice of reflection or journaling. You might write down the possible challenges each morning or evening. What worries you? What might change soon? How could you respond with calm or courage if these things happen? By looking honestly at your fears and hopes, you see that most problems can be faced in small steps. When you prepare for difficult times, remind yourself what you have now. Gratitude can help you remember the good things present in your life, even if they are small. Paying attention to friendship, kindness, health, or learning makes you more calm and less afraid of losing or facing problems. Even with all these habits, sometimes a challenge will surprise you. You may feel afraid, angry, or lost. This is normal. The Stoics did not try to hide from these moments. They accepted them as part of life. What matters most in these times is that you do not forget your values and your power to choose. Even in the hardest moments, you can respond with honesty or care, even if your actions are small. If you meet a big challenge and you do not act as you hoped, be gentle with yourself. Give yourself time to learn and grow. The Stoics wrote that every person's journey is long and full of changes. Each mistake is another lesson, not an ending. Sometimes thinking about trouble makes people worry more instead of less. If you notice you are stuck in worry, bring your mind back to the present. Notice that right now you have what you need. You are safe this moment. Take a breath and feel your own courage. Preparing for the future does not mean living in fear. It means making peace with the fact that nothing is certain, but you are always able to respond with kindness and strength. By practicing preparing your mind for difficulties, you become more aware of your own thoughts. You are more ready to notice when your mind is adding fear or anger that is not needed. You can say, "This worry is not real yet," or "I will do my best when the time comes." Over time, your trust in yourself grows. You are less shaken by surprise, and you recover more quickly after loss or failure. Children and adults can use this practice. You do not need any special training or skill. The small steps of thinking ahead, practicing your values, looking for lessons, and remembering gratitude are enough. The more you use these ideas, the more they become natural to you. As you become more skilled at preparing your mind, you begin to worry less about what may come. You know that you can handle sadness, anger, or loss because you have handled them before. You know that even if you feel pain, you can find your way through. This gives you a sense of freedom because you trust yourself not just in good times, but also in the hardest times. Life is always changing. Sometimes there are good surprises, and other times there are hard days and losses. The Stoics remind us that happiness and confidence do not grow from outside things that can disappear or change. They grow from your habits, your values, and your ability to meet any day with the same calm heart. When you remember this, you feel lighter and more ready for whatever comes next. As you hold these lessons quietly inside, notice how much time and energy people spend chasing outside things to find happiness and confidence. The world often says that if you have more, if you win praise, or if things always go your way, you will feel peaceful and safe. The Stoics believed something else. They taught that true happiness is found not by chasing after things, but by caring for your own mind, actions, and choices. When you bring your attention back to what lives inside you, you protect your peace and your confidence, no matter what events may come. When you put your attention on your own mind and your own choices, you begin to see happiness in a new way. In everyday life, many people believe that happiness comes from things outside themselves. They hope that if they get more money, buy better things, receive praise, or become more well-known, then they will finally feel complete and at peace. The Stoics understood that this idea is common, but they also saw that it causes a lot of pain and worry. They taught that real happiness cannot be found in things that can change or disappear. Real happiness is something you create inside yourself, and it stays with you even when life is hard. Seneca and his friends wrote about how people run after new things, thinking each one will bring lasting joy. But as soon as something is won or bought, the feeling does not last long. The mind begins to want something else, or to hold on to what it has with fear of losing it. When happiness depends on things outside yourself, you are always waiting, hoping, or feeling worried. Your mood can go up and down with each new event. You start to believe that peace is always just a little ahead, somewhere in the future, instead of something you can feel today. Marcus Aurelius saw this problem in his own life as a ruler. He had power and comfort, but he also understood that these things could not protect him from sadness, sickness, or change. He wrote often that true peace is found by looking inside the mind, not by controlling the outside world. Only when you train your thoughts and care for your actions can you stay calm and steady, no matter what is happening around you. Epictetus shared that the only real good and the only real bad are those that happen inside your own soul. If you become greedy, jealous, or angry, no amount of money or applause can save you from suffering. But if you practice kindness, honesty, and patience, even simple days can feel peaceful. The Stoics said that happiness and confidence begin with your habits and the way you treat yourself and others. It is normal to want some comfort, safety, and even beauty in life. The Stoics did not say you should avoid all good things or live without needs. They taught that you can enjoy things and experiences, but you must not become trapped by them or think that your worth is measured by what you have. It is fine to like comfort, just not to need it for your happiness. It is fine to feel glad when people say kind things, just not to depend on their praise for your own confidence. The world is always changing. Things that you own can break, be lost, or be taken away. People can change their minds about you. Money can come and go. Health can rise and fall. If your happiness depends on any of these things, your heart will always feel shaky. The Stoics were clear. The only peace that lasts is the peace that grows from inside your own mind, from your own habits, and from your ability to choose your actions. The Stoics often advise their families and students to look for lasting happiness in small daily actions. If you do something honest, or if you forgive someone, or if you help another person, then you have done something good. No one can take these things from you. Even if no one sees or praises you, you know that you are living by your own values. This brings a quiet kind of joy that does not depend on luck. One way to notice how much you depend on outside things is to watch your reactions when life changes. If you feel upset when you lose something, or when someone does not approve of you, ask yourself what you were hoping for. Were you hoping for love, respect, or comfort from this thing or person? Did you believe that your happiness depended on it? The Stoics said it is wise to care about others and to use things well, but not to tie your calm and your self-worth to anything that can change. When something good happens, a gift, a prize, a new friend, the Stoics suggest feeling gratitude and happiness, but reminding yourself that it may not last forever. Instead of fearing the loss, simply enjoy the moment and let it go. When something bad happens, a loss, a failure, or a harsh word from someone, the Stoics suggest feeling the feeling, but bringing your attention back to your own ability to choose your next action with care. This is how you keep your peace steady. Seneca believed that the quickest way to ruin your happiness is to compare your life to someone else's. If you always look at what others have or how they are treated, your mind grows restless and jealous. No one's life is perfect. Even those who seem happy on the outside carry troubles inside. It is better to measure yourself by your own progress and actions, not by things that belong to someone else. Practicing gratitude every day helps keep your mind focused on what is real and good. Marcus Aurelius took time each morning to remember things that he was grateful for: family, a good teacher, his chance to serve, or a day without trouble. You can do this too. Just a few moments each day. Write or think about small things that bring warmth to your heart, even in dark times. This habit shows you that there is always something good in your life, even when bigger things are wrong. The Stoics also wrote about being careful with your wishes. Sometimes you want things that are not truly good for you, or things that will not bring lasting peace. They said to be wise before chasing after new things, and to stop and ask, will this help me live by my values? If it will, you can pursue it with care. If it will not, you can let it go. Over time, your mind learns to look for happiness in things and actions that truly matter. Friendship, kindness, love, and learning are examples of gifts that can bring real happiness because they help you become a better person inside. The Stoics said that when you help others, you help yourself as well. When you learn new things or forgive someone, your mind becomes lighter and more open. These gifts may not bring applause or fame, but they make your life meaningful. It is important to see that the Stoics were not against pleasure or joy. They laughed, loved, and enjoyed beauty. What they warned against was being controlled by these things or thinking that you must have them to feel happy. Wanting more and more makes peace impossible. Accepting that life is a mix of joy and pain, comfort and loss, allows you to enjoy good moments more fully and let go of pain more gently. Sometimes you will wish for things and not get them. Sometimes you will work hard and still be disappointed. This is part of life, and it happens to everyone. The Stoics said that when you accept this, your mind is less troubled by bad luck. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you can ask, "What can I do with this moment?" You always have the power to act with honesty and care, even when things do not go as you hoped. The Stoics also spoke about envy and jealousy. When you spend your time wishing for the life or things of another, you forget the good that you already have. Envy makes people bitter and tired. The wise answer is to celebrate the good in your own life and to wish others well. If you see someone succeed, let it be a lesson and not a reason to feel small. Your journey is your own, and only you can decide what brings you true peace. Children and adults can learn this lesson. Even from a young age, you may notice that disappointment comes when you want something and do not get it. You may notice joy comes and goes, and sometimes it leaves you feeling empty. The Stoics taught that if you focus on your own mind, your own learning, and your own kind actions, you will find a form of happiness that does not disappear with a bad day. When you see things you want in the world, it is good to ask yourself, will this bring me lasting peace and confidence? Sometimes the answer is yes, if it helps you live by your values or grow as a person. Often the answer is no, if it is only to make you look better or feel important for a short time. The more carefully you watch your wishes, the more you can choose what truly matters. Another part of happiness is how you face pain and sadness. The Stoics did not fear these feelings. They believed that sorrow and disappointment are part of being alive, and that learning to accept gentle pain is part of building a strong mind. When sadness comes, do not run from it or try to cover it with things or busy days. Let it be for a moment. Notice it, and then let it pass. What remains is your ability to keep living with courage and hope. You may sometimes find yourself thinking, if only I had more money, or if only I lived somewhere different. It is easy to believe that a new thing or place will fix everything. The Stoics invite you to pause and test this idea. Look back at times when you did get something you wanted. Did it bring lasting happiness, or was the feeling short? They taught that lasting joy comes from becoming more patient, more wise, and more honest, not from winning or owning things. It can help to remember stories of people who lost everything and still found meaning or peace. Some Stoic teachers, like Epictetus, were born with nothing and lost their freedom, health, and home. Yet they wrote with hope. Their strength was not in what they owned or how the world saw them, but in their habits, their thoughts, and their love for wisdom. If you want to practice finding real happiness, start each day by looking for simple joys. Notice the sun, the chance to learn, a kind word, or a quiet moment. Do something good each day because it matches your values, not because others will see or reward you. When you lose something or make a mistake, remind yourself that your worth is not changed by loss or failure. You are still able to choose your actions and your attitude. Another useful practice is to give something away, even a small thing. When you share, you notice that you do not lose happiness by having less. Sometimes your heart feels lighter and more open. This reminds you that happiness grows by caring for others and by letting go of the need to own or control everything around you. The Stoics also taught about the importance of self-respect. If you act in a way that matches your values, you give yourself a gift that cannot be lost. Even if others are unfair or unkind, your sense of peace comes from knowing you did your best. Your own opinion about your actions matters more than what the crowd thinks. When you understand that happiness comes from within, you no longer feel desperate to win every argument, prove yourself, or control every event. Life feels less like a race and more like a journey. You trust yourself. You forgive mistakes, your own and others. You start to believe that you will find meaning in both good and bad times. It takes time to let go of the habit of searching outside yourself for happiness. Some days you may forget and chase after praise or new things. Some days you may feel jealous or sad when others seem to have more. These feelings are normal. The important thing is to keep practicing. Return to your own habits, your own kindness, and your own sense of what is important. Little by little, your happiness becomes harder to shake. The world will always bring change. People move, money comes and goes, health changes, and friends sometimes leave. You cannot control these events. You can only control your intention, your words, your patience, and your courage. When you place your trust in these things, your heart is more at peace. As you grow in this understanding, you may notice that your days feel simpler and more meaningful. You spend less time chasing new things and more time enjoying quiet moments of truth, learning, and helping. Even when you have little, you have much, because you are at home in your own mind. Life is no longer about what you gain or lose, but about how you use each moment. Remembering this lesson, you may choose to start each morning with a gentle question. What can I do today that matches my values? And each night, you can end with gratitude, no matter what happened. In this way, day after day, you shape your happiness from the inside out. As you become more comfortable looking inside yourself for happiness and confidence, you will find that this also helps you build habits that make you stronger over time. Real happiness and real strength grow together, little by little, as you choose small actions with care and honesty every day. When you begin to focus on your own actions, thoughts, and values each day, you notice that your happiness and confidence grow step by step. You do not need big or dramatic changes to feel the difference. The Stoics explained that it is through very small daily actions that you build the habits and strength that last. It is not about reaching some perfect state all at once, but about choosing what is right and true in each moment. Sometimes these steps are quiet and almost invisible, but over many days, they change how you feel and live. The Stoics believed in the power of simple practices. These are everyday choices, such as waking up with a purpose, speaking kindly, listening with care, or taking a few moments to think about your actions at the end of a day. You might spend a minute in the morning reminding yourself about what you can control. You might set an intention to act with patience, even when you feel rushed or annoyed. Each of these small acts helps you train your mind and build inner strength that does not depend on luck or praise. Seneca often wrote that small improvements, kept up with patience, are more useful than trying to force yourself to change everything all at once. He encouraged his friends to start with just one idea each day. For example, you might decide, "Today I will try to be honest in every conversation." Or, "Today I will focus on being thankful for what I have." By choosing just one value to practice, you keep your goals clear and simple. This makes it easier to remember and easier to feel progress. During the day, there will be many moments when you can use these small habits. You might face a problem, get some bad news, or feel worried about something you cannot change. Instead of letting feelings take over, you pause. You ask, "What is in my control right now?" You might not be able to solve everything, but you can choose your next word or action. You can decide to breathe and stay calm even when others are upset. Each time you make this choice, you become a little stronger inside. This is how real confidence grows. Journaling or quiet reflection is another simple tool. At the end of the day, you can spend a few minutes alone thinking about how you lived out your intentions. Did you keep your word? Did you act with patience? Were there moments you forgot or made mistakes? The Stoics said it is not important to be perfect, but to be honest with yourself and keep learning. By looking back gently, you can see both your improvements and the places you want to grow next. You can also use reminders during busy days. If you find yourself getting lost in worry or anger, take a moment to remember one of your values. This can be as easy as repeating a word like patience, kindness, or honesty in your mind. Some people keep a small note or object with them to help remember. When you see your reminder, you pause and return to your chosen habit. Helping others is another daily practice that builds confidence and meaning. The Stoics said that we are made to live with others and to care for one another. You do not need to do big things to make a difference. Listening to a friend, helping with a task, or sharing kind words helps you feel connected and useful. Even just giving someone your full attention is a kind act. Helping others gives you a sense that your life matters, which is one of the roots of strong confidence. Gratitude is another simple habit that changes your mind over time. Every day, take a moment to notice something good. This might be a meal, a quiet moment, a smile, or a lesson learned after a mistake. Seneca and Marcus Aurelius both believed in writing a few lines of gratitude each morning or evening. This habit helps your mind focus on what is real and good in your life, rather than what is missing or wrong. When troubles or mistakes happen, the Stoics reminded themselves to treat these moments as lessons, not reasons to give up. If you lose your temper, forget your intention, or act in a way you regret, pause and forgive yourself. Say, "This is a new lesson. Next time I will try to do better." Each mistake is an opportunity to practice kindness with yourself and to learn for the future. Self-forgiveness makes it easier to keep going and to keep building stronger habits over time. Sometimes you may feel that your daily efforts are too small to matter. You may look at other people and think they change faster or have easier lives. In these moments, the Stoics said to bring your attention back to your own path. Each person learns and grows in their own way and time. You do not need to prove yourself by the standards of others. You only need to keep moving, even if your steps feel tiny. Children, adults, and people of all ages can use small daily acts to become stronger. Little by little, these acts add up. After some weeks or months, you may notice that things which once made you afraid or upset no longer trouble you so much. Your reactions become calmer, your mind quieter, and your sense of self-trust deeper. You see that real change does not happen all at once, but is built up from everyday effort. You can also practice Stoic ideas in the way you rest and take care of yourself. Good sleep, eating simple and healthy food, and taking breaks when you are tired all help to keep your mind steady. Marcus Aurelius wrote that your mind and body work together. When you treat your body with care, your mind finds it easier to return to calm and patience. These small habits support your bigger values. The Stoics advise that every morning is a chance to begin again. If yesterday was full of mistakes, you can start today with fresh hope. You do not need to carry the weight of regrets. Each new day is a tool you can use for learning and growth. Being present is another valuable practice. The Stoics wrote about focusing on the moment you are living rather than being lost in the past or worried about the future. When you are speaking with someone, give them your attention. When you are working or relaxing, notice what you feel and think. Presence allows you to see opportunities to use your values. When you are present, you notice small joys and can meet challenges with a quiet mind. If you find yourself feeling anxious or lost, you can reconnect with your practice by taking a slow breath and bringing your mind to what you are doing right now. You can ask, what small thing can I do well at this moment? Sometimes that means listening instead of talking, or accepting help, or simply pausing instead of reacting quickly. Forgiving others is also part of this way of life. If someone is rude or unkind, you can remember that everyone has difficulties and is learning in their own way. You can choose to respond with kindness or patience rather than anger. Forgiving others helps you feel lighter and keeps your mind from getting stuck on things that are not in your control. The Stoics encouraged using obstacles as places to practice your values. If something unexpected happens, instead of feeling defeated, ask yourself, how can I use this to grow? Each problem becomes an exercise for your mind and patience. This attitude makes you less afraid of mistakes or failures because you see them as part of your training for a better life. Routine can be a friend when you are building new habits. You might attach a new practice to something you already do, thinking of your values while you brush your teeth, pausing for 1 minute before meals, or reflecting for a short time before bed. These small routines help you remember your intentions, even on busy or stressful days. You will notice that some days are easier than others. There are times when your habits feel natural and you act with kindness or patience easily. Other days you may forget or feel tired. This is normal. What matters is your return to practice. Each time you remember, you take another step forward. Support from friends or community can help you stay steady. If you share your intentions with someone you trust, you can remind each other and celebrate progress together. Teaching someone else what you are learning is also a way to make your own habits stronger. The Stoics believed that wisdom grows when you share it openly. Over time, your confidence and happiness deepen. You notice that you are quick to forgive, slow to anger, and more able to handle disappointment or delay. You accept what you cannot control and pay more attention to what you can. Your days feel more meaningful and directed by choice, not by accident or outside pressure. When you look back after some time, you will see that it was not one big event, but hundreds of small daily acts that changed your life. Small steps repeated every day have more power to build confidence and peace than any sudden change. The Stoics taught that the mind is always able to grow. No matter your age or experience, you can learn new ways to care for your thoughts and actions. Each effort to choose kindness, patience, honesty, or courage plants a seed in your mind. In time, these seeds grow into strong habits and a steady sense of who you are. Helping others as part of your daily life is one of the fastest ways to strengthen these habits. Each act of care, no matter how quick or quiet, is part of building a meaningful life. You become a person that others can trust and depend on, and you feel more trust in yourself. If a day goes poorly, the Stoics said it is good to rest and try again, not to give up. Life goes up and down, but your habits are there to support you. With each challenge, you gain new lessons and become more ready for whatever comes next. A gentle way to keep yourself growing is to end each day with one simple question. Did I live by my values today? If yes, give yourself credit. If no, forgive yourself and plan a small step for tomorrow. This habit is simple, but it helps you stay honest and focused. You may notice that facing difficulties becomes a little less frightening when you know you have the tools to respond well. Even when mistakes or losses happen, you trust that you can start again and keep moving forward. This way of living does not mean you are perfect, but that you are honest, learning, and willing to try each day. If you are ever unsure where to start, choose just one value to practice. Maybe it is patience with yourself when you are learning, or kindness when someone is rude, or calmness when plans go wrong. One step is enough. Over many days, small actions become the foundation of a calm and confident mind. This approach is open for everyone. Children, students, adults, and elders can each use and build on these small daily habits. You do not need special skills or a certain job or background. Each person's path is different, and each person's effort matters. As you remember to use Stoic habits each day, you also become ready to face the next lesson. Every person will meet obstacles and losses in life, and with steady practice, you learn not to fear them, but to see them as chances to become even stronger. Difficulties and failures are not the end, but places to find courage and wisdom that will stay with you, no matter where life goes. Each day you practice patience, honesty, and small acts of kindness. You slowly notice changes within yourself. You do not avoid problems or mistakes, but you learn to meet them with a different attitude. The Stoics believed that life will always bring challenges, setbacks, and moments when things do not go as planned. It does not matter where you live, how old you are, or what you own. Everyone makes mistakes, and everyone faces times when they do not succeed. The difference is in how you greet these moments and what you do afterward. The Stoic teachers, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, wrote many lessons about difficulty and failure. They said that while failure hurts, it is not something to fear or avoid. If you try to run from mistakes or pretend they do not happen, you miss the chance to grow stronger inside. The Stoics taught that every problem, mistake, or loss is a chance to learn something new about yourself and about life. You do not have to like these moments, but you do not need to be crushed by them either. First, it is important to accept that problems and failures are a natural part of the human experience. No one's life is without them. Seneca wrote that it is not trouble itself that creates pain, but our response to it. If you feel shame or anger when things go wrong, this adds even more suffering. But if you say to yourself, "Everyone faces problems. I can learn from this," you soften the experience and make it more useful. Try to see each mistake as a piece of information. Maybe you made a decision that did not end well. Maybe you missed a chance, hurt someone's feelings, or did not finish what you started. Sometimes you will wish you had acted differently. Instead of blaming yourself or others, you can ask, "What can I learn from this?" The lesson may be about patience, about speaking more gently, about being more careful, or just about accepting that things change. The Stoics advised a gentle and clear step after any setback. Pause and look honestly at what happened. Take a moment apart from the noise or the rush of emotion. In a quiet space, ask yourself questions. What actions did I take? What was in my control? What was not in my control? What new choice can I make in the future? This simple act of looking closely helps you separate the things you can use from the things you must let go. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, in moments of failure, to return attention to the present. It is common to replay past mistakes over and over in the mind. This habit does not help, and it takes time and energy away from what you can do today. Instead, bring your thoughts to right now. You can say, "Yesterday is finished. I am here now. I can choose again." This way of thinking gives you power and freedom, even after a loss. If you feel sadness, disappointment, or regret, allow yourself to feel it for a moment. The Stoics did not say to hide your feelings or pretend that nothing happened. These feelings are part of life, just as much as joy is. But do not let those feelings control you forever. After you feel them, let them pass and turn your focus to what you will do next. You may worry about being judged by others when you fail. This fear is very strong for many people. The Stoics taught that the opinion of other people is outside your control. What matters most is not whether others think you are perfect, but whether you are honest and learning. If someone criticizes you, you can listen with an open mind. Ask, is there a lesson here for me? If the criticism is not fair or not useful, you can let it go. Self-forgiveness is a key part of learning from failure. Being angry with yourself or holding on to guilt does not help you act better in the future. The Stoics suggested gentle words. I made a mistake, but I am willing to try again. Each person needs many tries to become wise. Every step, even the ones that feel wrong, is a step towards understanding. You do not need to face your challenges alone. The Stoics wrote about the value of sharing your troubles with a trusted friend or teacher. Speaking honestly with someone can lighten the weight of a problem and bring new ideas. Sometimes just hearing your own words out loud helps you see a simple step forward. No one must be strong alone all the time. Asking for help is a wise and brave action. Be patient with your own learning. The Stoics believe that progress is a slow process, made through daily effort and honest reflection. There are no shortcuts to lasting confidence. Some days will feel easy, and other days you may feel stuck. On hard days, the most important thing is to gently return to your values and small habits. You build inner strength by coming back to your practice, again and again. Treat each setback as a fresh moment to practice the values you care about. If you face disappointment at work or in a relationship, think about how you can show patience or kindness or courage now, even if things are not as you want. If you are afraid to try again, remind yourself that each new attempt is a chance to use what you learned. The Stoics trusted that the mind grows not when things go smoothly, but when you meet obstacles with attention and hope. Over time, you may notice that your fear of failure becomes smaller. You are not as worried about making mistakes because you know how to respond. This makes you braver and more willing to try new things or meet new people. Life is fuller and richer when you are not afraid of what might go wrong. You also become more understanding with other people. You see that everyone is working through their own lessons. If a friend or family member makes a mistake, you can offer them kindness and patience instead of judgment. This helps build relationships that are strong, open, and full of trust. Use every failure as a path to grow a better life. If you are rejected or your plan falls apart, look for one small thing you can improve next time. Celebrate your effort, even if you did not win. There is learning in every step. Another important lesson from the Stoics is the value of gratitude, even in tough times. It may be hard to feel thankful when life feels heavy, yet every lesson, every setback, holds something you can use. You might thank yourself for trying. You might feel grateful for a person who listened, or for the chance to begin again. Marcus Aurelius often looked for something to appreciate even after a bad day. Keep remembering that no mistake is the end. You will have new chances, new days, and new choices. Each problem faced with honesty and patience grows your courage. Each moment you return to your values, even when it is hard, makes you a little stronger. Living through trouble also shows you what truly matters. Sometimes a loss or a failure makes you let go of wishes or goals that are no longer good for you. You may find new values or new paths after letting go of what did not work. The Stoics wrote that it is wise to accept change and to be open to learning, no matter your age or past. Let yourself be proud of your effort, not just your results. If you tried honestly to do something and did not succeed, celebrate the trying. Reward comes from the steady habit of showing up and being true to your own hope each day. The outside world can give or take away prizes and praise, but only you can praise the effort you make. Bring the lessons from setbacks into your future choices. Each time you remember what went wrong last time, you can adjust and try differently. This is how growth happens, little by little. Each time you fall and stand again, you feel more sure of yourself. Life brings both small and big disappointments. Sometimes, even after your best try, things do not improve. In these moments, the Stoics taught that you can still choose your attitude. You may not be able to control the event, but you can control your response. This is the root of real peace, knowing that what happens outside can touch you, but it cannot destroy your inner confidence if you choose your response with care. Remind yourself every day that difficulties will not last forever. Pain, embarrassment, and worry can feel strong, but all feelings change. You will have new chances. Even the hardest times become easier to carry when you respond with patience and hope. Use small daily habits to keep yourself grounded, even in trouble. Write in your journal, talk to a friend, walk outside, or sit quietly with your breath. These acts bring you back to your center and help you remember your values. The Stoics called life a journey, a path filled with learning, change, and growth. No matter how many times you stumble, each step is part of your way forward. You can trust your effort, your kindness, and your courage to bring you new confidence over time. Real happiness and calm, according to the Stoics, are open to everyone. It does not matter if you are young or old, experienced or new to these ideas. The lessons of daily practice, honesty, and learning from mistakes belong to every person. Each step you take brings you closer to a steady, peaceful mind. With every setback and every success, you practice accepting life as it comes. You continue to treat yourself and others kindly, and you keep moving even when it is slow. The Stoic way is not about being perfect, but about being real, aware, and willing to grow a little more every day. As you use these lessons more and more, you notice that your days are lighter. You feel more able to meet challenges and more ready to share your hope and understanding with others. The lessons of Stoicism are alive in your actions, in the way you forgive, and the way you begin again after a storm. You do not need to wait until life is perfect to feel this strength. You can begin right now with the smallest step. Focus on what you can do. Be gentle when you make mistakes. Pay attention to your learning. Let each setback be the ground where new confidence grows. Every person's path is different, but the Stoic teachings are always ready to help you face your own way. They give you the tools of patience, honesty, courage, and kindness for each new day. The more you use them, the closer you come to a peaceful and confident life, ready for whatever comes next.